The final I predicted came to fruition as Novak Djokovic looks for a record 8th Australian Open title and Dominic Thiem his first Grand Slam. I'll preview this matchup and give my prediction of who will win the first major of the 2020s here on Grand Slam Tennis News Today. Novak began his road to the final against Jan-Lennard Struff, dropping his lone set of the tournament before storming back to take a comfortable 4-set win. He then dominated Japanese men Tatsuma Ito and Yoshihito Nishioka before beating his first seed of the tournament, Diego Schwartzman, in a dominant display. In his last two matches, he was tested a bit more, being pushed to a third-set tiebreaker against Milos Raonic. Roger Federer was next, as Noli was able to survive a near first-set loss to send the Swiss packing in 3. Dominic's Aussie Open campaign began with a straight sets win over Adrian Mannarino. He then got by an inspired Alex Bolt, recovering from a 2-1 deficit to take it in 5. In the third round, he got by Taylor Fritz in 4 before crushing Gael Monfils 2-4-4. In the quarters, he picked up one of his biggest wins of his career, scraping by the world number 1 Rafael Nadal in 4 electrifying sets. The semifinals was similar to this, as Dominic beat good friend Alexander Zverev in 4 close sets. Although Djokovic leads the head-to-head 6-4, Thiem has won their last 4 or 5 meetings, including the French Open semis and most recently the ATP Finals. Still, Djokovic far outranks the Austrian in overall career stats, as he's looking for a 17th Grand Slam title, while Dominic is trying to go 1 for 3. Going back to their ATP Finals match, Dominic to me was the aggressor in this one and really dictated how points were won or lost. Either he will bludgeon the ball and blast winners in unreturnables, or he will falter to the great wall of defense that is Novak. Many of Djokovic's winners were hit when in awkward and unfavorable positions, showing how Thiem played a lot of the points on his terms. Another interesting thing in this match was the frequent breaks of serve, especially in the third set. This was mostly due to excellent returning from both, and I'm wondering if we'll have something similar happen on the faster courts of Melbourne. To sit atop his Melbourne throne once again, Novak first needs to remain dominant on serve. In London, though I said that a lot of breaks were attributed to good serving, a big contributing factor were periods of poor service from the Serbian, and in the final, he needs to try and limit these lapses and be as clean as possible. To maximize his chances of breaking, I feel that Novak should direct his returns toward the middle of the court more. I've noticed that in their ATP Finals match and the Zverev Thiem semi, Dominic doesn't respond that well when his opponents go deep up the middle. He much prefers for that first ball to sit and doesn't want to be rushed. I also believe that Novak should try and test Thiem's legs and movement early on, being that the Austrian has played 5.5 more hours than he has. We all know that Dominic's forehand is the stronger side, and it would be wise of Novak to try and get some backhand and backhand exchanges going, but when he does go after the Thiem backhand, he cannot merely hit hard to it. He needs to hit more string or rhythm diagonals to this side, as many times, Thiem doesn't know whether or not to pull the trigger on the backhand. This is basically the last point too, and all I'm going to say is, Thiem likes pace, so Noli has to try and get him out of that rhythm by varying the pace and spin of the ball. For Dominic to have his best shot at the title, he needs to remain aggressive. Yes, this does concern his shot making, but I also mean be aggressive with his feet, as this allows him to be in the best position to spread out his shots and hit more angles. Next, I want Dominic to mix things up and try some things like serve and volley every once in a while. Djokovic is such a sound, solid player, so it's going to take some different approaches to get him out of his comfort zone. Additionally, Dominic, if not in firm command with the score, needs to stay close with Novak, as it puts more pressure on him and prevents the serve from playing freely and with full confidence. I think that Dominic should try and go for more body serves as well, for in the ATP Finals match, he was met with great results, so I definitely think that's going to be a go-to serve. The last key to the match for Thiem is to be the better player in the big moments. This is probably the hardest key to implement, seeing that Novak is almost unbeatable in these crucial moments. If he can somehow out-Novak, he'll increase his chances of success significantly. When trying to predict the outcome and winner, I've been really conflicted. I did pick Djokovic over Thiem in my tournament preview, but I actually feel that as a whole, Dominic has been the better player these past few weeks. Both have had moments of stellar play and moments of mere solidity, but I just feel that Dominic has had a higher frequency of superb playing. This could be due to his higher level of opponent and actually needing to play at this great level, so maybe Thiem will force Novak to produce some of his absolute best. This did happen last year with Nadal in the finals. To reiterate my point, because Novak hasn't necessarily showcased his best tennis of late, I would say Thiem has a very good chance of beating him, and he still does. However, what's holding me back from giving him the predicted win is the greatness of Djokovic, and I do feel like Novak will raise his level of play because he needs to. Thiem is playing really good tennis at the moment, but the question is, can he keep it up after playing 2 grueling matches followed by such a big occasion, the finals? Out of his 3 finals appearances, I feel like this is his best chance of winning, but despite this, I believe Novak will show up and make Thiem earn it. Because of his clutchness in tight moments, I predict Novak will win it in 5 for his 8th Aussie Open title. Rackets aside, here's what the 2 finalists had to say about the big match and their respective opponents.
Dominic won our last match. We played against each other, a close one in London. And he played a terrific match against Rafa last night. I watched that, and he's definitely one of the best players in the world. Deserves to be where he is. And it seems like has improved his game a lot on the hard courts, because his game is most suitable to the slowest surfaces. The clay, of course, he being his favorite surface, but winning Indian Wells, I think last year, beating Roger in the finals, that probably gave him a lot of confidence that he can win big tournaments on other surfaces as well. Well, I think he's not really anymore a next generation. I mean, he's been around and for many years, and now already established top 5, top 10 player. I mean, played a couple of Grand Slam finals, won Masters events, and played finals of World Tour finals. So I mean, he's already there. It's just a matter of one match here and there that can potentially give him a Grand Slam title, and that he can actually get in the mix of top 3 in the world. I mean, he definitely has the game, he has the experience now, he has the strength, he has all the means to really be there. And he's has improved in the last 12 months playing on the hard court, without a doubt, and the results are showing that. Well, I've seen him play very well on hard court in different conditions. It's a different matchup when you play Rafa, than when you play Roger, who stays closer to the line and takes away the time from Dominic. But it was a tremendous match. I thought they both fought really well, and congrats to him.
I think I have to keep a good balance. Of course, I have to risk a lot. I have to go for many shots, but at the same time, of course, not too much. And that's a very thin line. In the last match against him, I hit that line perfectly in London. So, of course, I'm gonna take a look at that match, how I played, and try to repeat it. But for sure, he's the favorite. I mean, he won 7 titles here, never lost a final, going for his 8th one. But I mean, I'm feeling good on the court. I'm playing great tennis, so try to be at my absolutely best on Sunday. I try to take my experience, what I made in the last 2 major finals, and try to improve myself even more. I think I did that from 18 to 19 in Paris, and I try to improve even more now. In this one, I have the feeling that I have great experience now. I'm feeling that I can really keep up my level for all the 2 weeks, which was not the case maybe in my first Roland Garros finals. So that's what I'm taking, and then try to be in the zone straight away on Sunday night. Yeah, it's true. I won, I think, more of the last encounters than he did, but I think it doesn't count so much. It's absolutely his comfort zone here. I mean, he always plays his best tennis in Australia since many years, so I'm expecting that as well in the finals. So all I can do is doing my best again, playing great tennis again, and of course take a look at the last matches we had as well in Paris and also in London, and try to repeat the good stuff what I did there.
That's it for the 2020 Australian Open Men's Final preview, and let me know if you agree or disagree with my thoughts or predictions in the comment section below. Feel free to leave your own predictions, and make sure you subscribe and click the notification bell so you're notified whenever we post new content. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time here on Grand Slam Tennis News Today.